number 2, which is all about pre-booking and prepaying. So first question first, does anybody on this call, do you already do this? Do all your patients all pre-book their courses of care? Do they all prepay for them? Let's have a look. So Denny, no you don't. Rachel, no you don't either. Does anybody on here do it? Healthwise doesn't. Jason, you don't do it either. Ah, Alex, well done. Alexandra, well done. You've just started. So Claudia, you pre-book, but you don't prepay. Okay, so you do one of the 2 things. You're halfway there. Tracy, you prepay. Oh, prepay since the pandemic. Yes, I know a lot of people. We've always done prepay, but for a long time. But I know a lot of people have implemented this during the pandemic to reduce contact, to improve contactless, and it's worked fantastically well. So another good reason to prepay. Chris, no, you haven't. That's all right. Oh, no, and yes, but only a couple. Yeah, is that in response to the current situation? Is it, Chris? You introduced it through COVID.
No, it's not. No.
Not yet. Okay, we'll explain through. Let's have a look. Sam, most, but not everyone. Okay, not everyone. So then let's go through it. Let's go through how we do it. So I'm going to pass you back to Alicia. So she's going to go through all the how and why we do patient prepay and pre-book.
Yeah, thanks, Wins. So when we started in the practice, as the weeks went by and the months went by, we really gained traction, and we're increasing the number of new patients we were seeing, and we were really, really busy. But we had one big problem. Patients could not get in to see us. So say, for example, we'd recommend coming in 3 times a week. They'd go to the front desk and they'd say, oh, can I come in Monday, Wednesday, Friday? And we'd be so busy, we could only fit them in once that week. So they'd complain at front desk, I can't get in. Wendy's recommending 3 times a week. I can only come once a week. This is not very good. And they might do a few weeks of 1 a week, and they'd either have a flare up and go somewhere else. That's not working for me. Or, oh, do you know what? I feel fine on once a week. I don't need to come in 3 times a week. I'll just keep on once a week, and then we know that further on down the line, again, they'd have a flare up, and this is not work for me, or they'd have to start back again from the beginning again. And they'd also have these uncomfortable conversations at front desk, that particularly if new patients are sat in reception and there's somebody moaning at the receptionist saying, I can't get in, this is not very good. It doesn't paint a particularly great impression of your practice. And also, I don't know if anybody's thought about this before or experienced it, but your front desk or your CAs can put an invisible ceiling on how many people you see a week. So at the time, myself and Wendy were seeing 100 patient visits each a week, so 200 visits a week. But the front desk, the CAs were actually seeing 400 visits a week. So they'd see someone once on the way in, hi, I'm here. And then on the way out, they'd see them again to book the next appointment and prepaying. So they and pay. So they were seeing 400 visits a week, which you get quite stressed, and they start, the CA, they don't want to see any more on front desk. They're busier enough as they are, so they start to put an invisible ceiling on your practice. They stop you from growing. So we thought we really need to stop both of these scenarios from happening. We need a way of the patients only seeing the front desk once, and we need to ensure the patients are sticking to the course of care, because we know that those that stick to the course of care recommended get the best results and stay well for longer. And we realised the only way to do that was to ensure that these patients got their ideal times. So whether that was before work or after work or in the middle part of the day, if they were in the ideal times best for them, then they're more likely to stick to that course of care and get great results. Those that don't stick to the course of care, they come on an ad hoc basis, eventually they drop out of care, and that's not worked for them. So has anyone else had this problem, or does that sound particularly familiar to anybody? Because it happened, honestly, for months and months, and actually years for us. It really did. So we decided, what we'll do is we'll implement pre-booking. So now the patient pre-books their entire course of care in advance. So when the new patient comes to us, we recommend the course of care. They pre-book the appointments at the ideal times for them. So they're committed to that course of care. They're going to get the best results. And then we thought, right, okay, that's great. There's no more awkward conversations at front desk, but also we need to stop that patient seeing the front desk twice, so that the front desk is not putting an imaginary ceiling on how many people we can help. So we thought, right, we need to implement a prepayment for that entire course of care. So we did a prepayment, and to encourage prepayment, we discounted it if they paid in advance for the care. We threw in additional extras so it looked like a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you prepay? So we really stacked it, and it's really important you set context to how much you charge him. So one of the examples we've always used, and our mentors have always taught us, is a car. So let's say, for example, Wendy's looking to buy a car. She's got £1,000 budget, and I say, oh, Wendy, look at this car. I've got a car for you. You want to buy one? This is 10,000. Do you want this car? And when they're going to say, oh, actually, I've only got £1,000, I can't afford that £10,000 car. But if you turn it around, if you could change the context, I'm going to say to Wendy, I know you're looking for a car. I've got an amazing car for you outside. It's red, it's really sleek, it's got blacked out windows, leather seats, goes from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and actually it's a Ferrari and it's worth £150,000. Now, I know you said your budget was £1,000, but actually, if you buy this car today, I'll give it you for £10,000. Now, you see how I've changed the context? That £10,000 now looks like a bargain for that £150,000 car. I've changed the context. I've added in loads of additionals. So it looks like a no-brainer. We've really stacked it. So the way it's described, how you pre-book and how you prepay, the way it's described is vital. But it really is a win-win for everybody. For the patient, they get the best results. They stick to the course of care. They get it at the most cost-effective price. They're not going to drop out halfway in the middle of the course of care thinking they're either better because their pain's gone but they're not functioning well, or they've had a flare-up and this is not for them. They're going to see that course of care through. They're going to get the great results. For the CAs, they get better control of the diary, so they can really cluster book. They can get as many people into that diary as possible. You can help as many people as you can. They're not having those awkward conversations at front desk in front of new patients. And they're seeing patients only once. So they come in on the way in. Hi, I'm here. Great, you've pre-booked. Your next appointment's at this time. You've prepaid. Don't need to see you again. So there's no queues at front desk. And for the chiropractors or the practitioners, that patient is committed to that course of care. They're going to see them in that frequency. They're going to get great results, and they're going to stay well for longer. They're going to recommend all their friends and family to us. And honestly, it really transformed our practice. We went from more than 6 figures by increasing this in our first year alone. Having that in place, we only have 2% of our patients reschedule. Our CAs no longer have difficult conversations with the guests about booking. And now 90% of our patients pre-book and prepay for their entire course of care. And particularly for one of our treatments we have is an IDD machine for people with disc problems. And it's a really high price point. I think it's about £1,500 worth of care, and everybody prepays for that. They do not pay as they go.
Oh, as Alicia says, it really is a pre-booking and prepaying. It's a win-win situation. It's a win for us. It's a win for the team. It's a win for the patients. The business gets a huge injection of cash up front. Reception has more control of the diary. With less complaints. It's less work for them. It's less stress. Everything is done up front. They're not paying by visit basis. The chiros love it, as they're guaranteed, regular patient visits. If they've pre-booked and prepaid, they're definitely coming, aren't they? It's steady income for them. Patients get the best price, with appointment times that suit them. They get great results, which leads to more referrals as well. And since we've implemented it, as Alicia said, it's absolutely transformed our practice. Reception waiting times have halved, as have complaints about appointment times. 90% of all our patients now pre-book and prepay. as I said, our rescheduling rate now is under 2%. Less stress for the front desk booking, because they're not having to do reschedules all the time. The diary remains cluster booked with fewer gaps, i.e. maximising capacity, driving up your turnover. And since introducing pre-booking and prepaying, we designed a discount package to make pre-booking a no-brainer. By doing this, we've added an extra 100,000 to our turnover every year. So if you're not already doing pre-booking and prepaying, I don't know how we're going to convince you, other than what we've just said. But as I said, it will add 100,000 to your turnover if you just
way over. I think way over 100,000.
Oh, way over. Just in extra cash by just getting pre-booking and prepaying. All these are looking lovely. These, Mark. I'm enjoying Mark's slides here. So this is the recap. As I said, patients should always pre-book and prepay. You should stack all your prepayment packages to make it a no-brainer. Pre-booking and prepaying benefits the patient, the receptionist, the practitioner, because everybody gets what they want. Receptionists get better control of the diary. Patients get the time they want at the price they want, and the practitioner knows they have a patient who will attend the correct number of appointments within the correct time frame, get better, and obviously they will sing all their praises down to their friends that they're down at the pub with. So as I said, implement it and watch your turnover increase.